Hello and welcome to the DFS underscore PhD show for Pick6. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. This show will say it's sponsored by Pick6. You can use my referral code as BoneDog84 on DraftKings, or follow the link from our Discord if you are signing up for the first time. So I'm making this video, and they have given me I guess I should say they've given me like $1,000 in free stuff in the last month. So I feel like, this could work out as an in-kind sponsorship because I've started looking at it and actually found edge. Like this is probably why they wanted you to play and stuff, is because then you see, oh, this is fun and not just because of pick'em. Like this is actually so a lot of the pick'em games, like Prize Picks, for instance, like I have a channel for it. Obviously, it's a nice alternative to legal gambling in states where it doesn't exist. It's a similar game, you know what I mean? But this is actually a different game. This is peer-to-peer, right? So there's two important ways in which that's different, and you can take advantage of it. Number one, your peers are not necessarily awake. So first of all, you can find overlay in Pick6. That's outrageous to me, right? In a pick'em competition, overlay, yes. So for instance, let's go to PGA Tour for tomorrow. Not many people understand. They haven't put the contest up yet. But so this morning, for whatever reason, they're going off in twos instead of threes for PGA. So the round three went off at some ridiculous like 4 a.m. time, even though rounds one and two had gone off at 7. And nobody was aware of that. And so anyway, I was looking at it. I was up with my kid, and I was like, huh. So if you go here and you click on how full is this actually, that's coming up. But these aren't, yeah. So again, this is like there's still overlay. These competitions fill in 25 minutes. If you get to about 80% is where overlay is. Now, granted, that's not great overlay. They got like 22% VIG or rake or whatever. So it's not ideal if it's full. Don't play them if they're full, right? Like you're poaching. That's why you're here. So you want maximum advantage. You play number one, and you can see the different kinds of picks. How many picks do you need? It varies by day. It's not like my initial version of this video was how do I work out, blah, blah, blah. Is the partial worth it for the 5 pick? No, it's all about where is the overlay. It's more like DraftKings in that way. You're chasing the overlay, and then you figure out, what are your best 5 picks. You either have I've been using the ETR thing from with a solver. I used it for free for a week or two, made a little bit of money. It's good at suggesting things. For instance, I like to use it to get unders because that's going to be the second part of this video. There's a bias among the audience, and that's another way you get edge. And when you combine the edges, I think there might actually be edge in playing this game as long as people are just like signing up and not knowing what they're doing. So the second edge, besides play when there's overlay, if you see there's a weird contest start time, make sure you're poaching it. Make sure you're like, I'm going to be at a pool party today or whatever for MLB slate, but if you're going to be around, uh, well, the 6 picks are filling, but I mean, you might have a good look with a 4 pick today or something. Or like, let's look over at UFC. Again, I'll probably still it's going to be a pretty fun pool party. I'm gonna be honest, guys. My kid and I have been looking forward to this for a couple of days. A bouncy house, a big pool. Anyway, so 40%, and we got a 5 or 6 pick here. If you got a 5 or 6 pick in the UFC, you might want to keep your eye out on what's going on around 1 o'clock today. I don't. I mean, like I tried to put one together. I kind of like waters. I kind of like 3 or 4 of them for obvious reasons. I have money invested elsewhere in them, but I don't really have good picks yet. So we'll see. If we do, if I get any good picks, I'll put them in. But the more important thing, oh yeah. So the only other edge besides overlay, which I think we've covered, it's this button. Learn what the button is. Click the button. Generally, click all the buttons so that you can get the maximum information from the app while understanding that if they're giving you information, it's making them money because, right, it's making you enter these competitions that have overlay. So that's lessening the overlay. That's why they're telling you about it. It is making them money while it's making you money. That's the way I'm fine with making them money. So anyway, thank you to Neil Orfield. He's how I know about this button. Before that, like Jake asked, how did you know that? Because the way I had been getting to it was once I entered contests, I could look at the contest breakdown and I could see that the contests were underfilled. But there's an easier way. So the other thing they just added last week that's so great. Like now that you know this, how could you go on playing the way that everybody's going to keep going on playing? I don't know. But now, and this is in sports where overs are betting on the person. Sometimes, unders are betting on the guy, or anyway, or unders are way more likely. So in basketball, who am I kidding? I'm mostly betting and playing basketball sport things. So in basketball, we're consistently seeing edge of about 57 and a half plus to 60 or 42 and a half, the other portion. People pick overs, and it's not, these are fair, like the odds are pretty close to fair. It's not, these are the playoffs, right? Like we're not I should tell you that this is being made. I'm going to leave this video up forever. I'm making this in May of 2024. So this is like second round of the playoffs. There might be some news, but we're not getting massively dead lines out there. Like they're holding Jared Allen's line today. They're not even putting out Cleveland lines, and they're being very conservative, even though we all think Jared Allen's probably out. So anyway, they're trying to avoid dead lines, and nonetheless, we're seeing extreme bias in the audience. And if you're like me, I don't even care about, I mean, like, honestly, like, I'll figure out which are the best unders, which feel the best to me. I may or may not win on any given night. But this edge, you could drive a truck through, man, right? Like, if you knew, right? Estimating the ownership of your opponents in DFS is one of the hardest things. And it's what makes DFS so nebulous and like, what do I play in a GPP? Like, it's a, the prior to that question is something you don't know that the answer to, depending on which way it goes, tells you which way to play. But we know the answer. That's what's so beautiful about Pick6 and why I'm making a video. It's not that I get whatever. They have a 100% deposit match. I'm sure I get a back end that's nice. I don't remember. It's like 20, some amount of money. But the main thing is there's edge here. Like there's so much edge. So in this contest where the six picks were 36% under, 64% over, if you picked all unders and all unders hit, your leverage is 28% on 36%. So you have like insane leverage. You're going to get way higher than the average payout. So that's the thing, right? Like most people are playing it, they're like, oh man, I got lower than the average payout, whatever. Or, they get way below the average and then they will comp you. If they go below, if you do happen to go, let me just show you because things are not going well with my picks today in golf because there's a ton of overlay, right? So how could it go wrong? Well, it could go wrong by you just do really, really bad. So far I've just done oh, okay. So Wyndham Clark did click the 3.5 birdies. That's good. Tom Kim, did he get in there? Hold on. Maybe this is going better than I thought. Okay, but nonetheless, what was my point here? Oh, I wanted to look at overs and unders. Don't remember. Oh yeah, the average pricing thing. So if you go below the low estimate, so in this case on my $10 entry, $15, if it were to cash out at like 14 or whatever, they would make you whole. Like they would make you higher than whatever they've estimated the low end. So that's the important of that estimate is it's like it's probably in the actual rules. I haven't looked up the rules, but there's some sort of a guarantee that you at least win your money back if you hit the certain condition, no matter how many dudes are in the competition. Anyway, that's an important condition, right? Because that also is money that they're paying out that's above. So the other thing you might not know is that your money is broken down into a bunch of little contests, right? So I assumed that you kind of knew that because you have done the basic amount of this thing, but maybe not. So they're broken down into like 1,000 person contests, aka if with a terrible rake, terrible. This is 30% rake possible on this competition. If it's 30% rake tomorrow and full, you are a fool. Don't play. You don't have no lean. There's no lean you have in sports that's going to outweigh a 30% rake. But if they're pushing out this product with a 22.5% expected value, now that would be on 100. So it's actually 22.5 on 78. It's more like a 25, 30% expected value. Positive. Well, yeah, maybe I'll gamble on some unders and overs for golf today. You know what I mean? So keep an eye out. The most important thing is there. Um, and yeah, pricing structure. This is the thing. It's a guarantee. They don't put the G like they do on DraftKings. I don't know why it's not guaranteed, isn't written there. But the 700 isn't like it splits 70% of entry fees like you might expect it would be. It's split $700. So like it's a guaranteed entry fee contest underlying it. So anyway, that's most of the fun. I think I've covered that. I don't really have more edge. That's why I'm kind of stammering. I'm trying to think if I've realized anything else. I want to tell you everything I got on Pick6, but right now, mostly mostly playing unders. Yeah, let's go to Neil's. What was Neil saying that day? Neil's got a lot of good stuff too, so I would also recommend looking at Neil's stuff. He's player QDFS. He's doing a lot of good. Yeah, I would say he's who I look at for stuff on this. So hasn't done any Pick6 stuff in a couple days, but I know he's got at least one good video out there talking about like similar stuff to this that obviously I haven't watched it, so I can't tell you exactly what's in it. Probably would be, yeah, I bet some of it is this. It's not tough edge. The edge is sitting right there for anybody who wants to see it, but it's a new game, and that's for me the most fun part. When you have a new game and people don't know how to play it, I mean, that's significantly more exploitable than when you have a decades old game that is stagnated. Like, I mean, some products that we might all play and enjoy and be professionals at, but nonetheless see decaying. I mean, I gotta say, like for me, it's been amazing to exist at a time where you could play DraftKings, like where daily fantasy sports was the kind of thing where I can have a good game, one of the finals in 2023, and it sets our family for an entire like union strike, and then still to this day, it's awesome. Like that's so silly, and you couldn't do it when I came out of college. So I'm aware of where we came from and where we could be going to, and this is maybe the best. So what I'm saying is this is maybe one of the better places remaining that we could be going because there's similar edge. You can use some of the same principles that you've used in DraftKings to make you money. DraftKings Daily Fantasy, your state might be more known for Pick'em or whatever, the legalized gambling, right? That's what it's called. I'm in California. We don't have legalized gambling, and I follow the law. You can put that on my gravestone. So definitely do. But this isn't going well. Don't follow any of these picks if you see. I did run this one. So I was like, most of my picks were like, what if so and so does well today? Yeah, how am I even tracking? How is not? Yeah, track live. That's the button I'm not seeing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure +4 Shane Lowry is cooked. All these guys, terrible. Only Putnam is doing fine. So I for the morning wave, I have like everybody do well, and then only for the afternoon wave do I have everybody do badly. Because I tried to do a little bit of a straddle with the 6 picks. Anyway, just pick the right guys. If you're just trying to, every time I try to get too clever, number one, terms and conditions of their promos are very important. Sometimes you might think it says $100 in cumulative bets, which makes sense because they break them all into $1 competitions anyway. But they mean $100 single bets by you, which is a weird unit for them to do because of how it breaks into the $1 competitions. Anyway, so I might have gotten in a little trouble trying to game one of their promos when it turned out I had spent about 1/100th the amount necessary to game the promo. So, but they have great promos, no matter what league you're in or whatever whether you got the VIP host or not. So look up the promos. Make sure you're using all the promos. That's why I would say. And I guess that's the third like thing about this, right? Is this is a new product for them, so they are putting significantly more promo bucks into Pick6 than they are in DFS currently. Let me just tell you what the two like promos I got are. So in DraftKings, my preferred product, I would rather play like a bunch of showdown lineups and max out whatever, but it's not worth it if it's going to be me and Utica and like all these guys who are really smart, and I like acknowledge that they're really smart. I'm not like it's the same reason I don't play Berm head to head in Sims, Madden Sims. He's at least as good as me, maybe better, maybe doing more like on the back end. He's not just sitting in a room doing Oracle style stuff for his Sims. He's actually running Sims on the Sims, which is awesome, and I want to do it, but I'm not doing it, and so I'm not anywhere you don't have edge. Don't press. So, but we have edge here because people are still not on this weird new product, and as a result, like I can't even find the promo page here. So sometimes they'll have like some people have been way on this. Yeah, basically they have a lot of weird promos, and if you are a terms and conditions guy, congratulations, you can read all the terms and conditions and exploit the promos because they're pushing more promo bucks to you here because this is where they want. So while on the DFS product, I have what is it? It's spend $7,000, $6,000. Well, I can pull it up and I can show you how it's not going to happen. Promos, and they'll show you a little tracker, and it says spend. Yeah, I'm extremely satisfied. I like your product, but spend $6,500 plus and get one $555 ticket. Hmm, that's not even covering the rake. I'm going to need a little bit more from you. And number one, obviously, this is not my spend level right now because the rake's just pretty high. But then we go over to Pick6, And currently, what are my current deals? Well, 50% of your fees back up to $500. Now it does say customer. Oh yeah, right. Oh, that's Madden Sims, huh? All right. Madden Sims. I mean, I have to put on my watch and set my timer for the next satellites because I've already covered the early satellites. That'll be a waterproof watch because we are going into the tub or the pool later today. But hold on, I gotta set a 2 hour timer before we continue with this because this is how my life is ruled by these little Madden Sims, man. I'm not upset because you know how I won that $100,000 take that has set us up for now? I won it with Madden Sims. I won it with every single day. Nobody was filling the milli qualifier, milli satellites. And so the satellite strategy, you probably already watched that video. I put this one later in the like sequence. And yeah, so I had like 93 or something tickets, and that yeah, I'm doing it again, obviously. It wasn't the first time I'd done it, like I had done it for the Super Bowl. But that's the thing, you can't choose which day the spike day happens. Even the day you put out, honestly, that was amazing that worked out. And it wasn't because I had 93 picks. I was first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh unique that day. What happened was I picked Haywood Highsmith to play, and everybody thought he wouldn't. And I had him captain in 13%. I had him playing in like 30 other percent. So 43% of my lineups had the nut. Like that nobody thought, like 3%. Everybody like thought it was DNP. So that's the kind of plays you have to make. And the way you can free yourself up as a guy who has a kid and doesn't feel like he should be having $3,000 on the line for DraftKings every night is you do this like satellite strategy. You win everything at positive EV. So if you're putting $2,000 on the finals game one, which I probably will, I don't care because like I won it. I know I only have to cover like $1,000 to cover my cost even because of how high of expected value that I am. So anyway, my main point here is this is positive expected value. They're giving me 50% of my losing fees back. They're covering almost like that's way more than the rake. The rake is 20 or 30%. So there's way positive expected value here. And they previously gave me my money back up to $500. Just like that. This is like wild. They've given me $1,000 in promo bucks in a month. I'm not seeing that on DraftKings. Like you saw, I had to spend $6,500 to get 555 ticket, not even promo bucks. So anyway, I don't think that is I'm reading the tea leaves. There's a reason why I got to make this video, and I suggest that you guys should, if it's legal in your state, start playing Pick6 because peer-to-peer betting is part of this, right? Like that's part of what Dave and Buster's just started too. And if you understand the basics of peer-to-peer betting, you're going to be ready for the future. So remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. It's as true on Pick6 as it is on DraftKings. Might as well be us.